Floyd's going to win by decision or late TKO. I think he does everything Billy Joe Saunders does, but better. Can't get into too much more detail because, and I hate to say this, it seems like we have more pressing matters at hand. So if you're living under a rock, Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather were set to have a face-off or a press conference in Hard Rock Stadium. Both guys bring their entourage. Floyd is always going to bring his mini bodyguards. It's something that is now commonplace anytime he shows up anywhere. It's just what he does. Logan brings his team, which includes Jake Paul, wouldn't you know it, and that'll be important later. And we're going to get into what was actually said during the press conference. But here's the thing. These two don't even seem to care about the fight at all, and you can read it on their faces easier than Floyd Mayweather reads a pictures-only book made for 5-year-olds. Not many people would have cared about this. No one would have covered it past tomorrow, but Logan brought Jake with him. And in just 3 words and 1 action, Jake Paul turned this event into pure chaos. So let's break this down. Logan Paul and Jake Paul, the bouncing balding bros versus the hair plug, pube beard, failing strip club connoisseur Floyd Mayweather. Let's go. All right, so we're going to watch a little bit of this press conference. It was a bit of a snooze fest, I'm not going to lie to you. You got Floyd Mayweather here, who is dressed like the ball boy for the Miami Dolphins. He looks like a retired homeless man, and they just gave him some nice clothes. And then you have Logan Paul on the other side. It doesn't even look like he wants to be there. He doesn't look happy to be there at all, which is kind of interesting because for his outfit of choice today, he's decided to cut holes in a Glad bag and wear it as a fucking vest and then throw some skinny jeans underneath it and call it swag. It feels like the people that prepared this press conference give about as much of a shit as the rest of us do, which is 0 about this fight.
If it's Russia, I'll beat him. If it's Mexico, I'll beat him.
And it sucks that a YouTuber's going to take all
And
that
guess
away.
what? I'll fight
I'm
real
fucking
fighters.
Pokemon collecting, podcasting, most of the YouTube. I'm about to beat the greatest history fighter of all time.
What?
Real fighters.
History fighter?
So yes,
Logan he was on a roll, man. He was going for it. He had it. He had all the credentials down. I'm a Pokemon collecting podcast host on YouTube. I'm going to take your legacy because you're the greatest history fighter that's ever fought in history. You know, you fight history because you don't want history to repeat itself or punch you in the face. I don't.
I'm willing to fight both in the same night.
No, you ain't.
Puss and C.
Call them Puss and C. And he's talking to Jake, obviously. Logan's jokes landed like a wet, squeaky fart, and Floyd is doing a pretty decent job on the mic here. He's getting media members to react to his stuff. That's pretty good. Now Jake is coming up and unlacing Floyd's shoes. I'm surprised, again, Floyd was as cool as he was here because Jake is messing with his outfit, his wardrobe, and then kind of lost it later on. But this is an important point because now Jake has messed with Floyd's shoes, inserted himself into something that didn't involve him really at all. This is Logan and Floyd's thing. Jake doesn't really respect anyone, so should you be surprised? No. But just keep this in mind for later on in the video.
I know what he did to the country of Japan.
Oh, okay, so
I know what he did.
we're getting personal.
You have to pay for what you did to Japan.
Is you trying to rally an entire country around you?
So,
Well, I know what you did to your wife.
one thing,
Oh, nah, he's 51 and 1. He beat his wife too.
Okay. Logan's trying to illustrate that Floyd is not 50-0, he's 51-0 because he beat up his wife, which would give him another win. But he fucks that up. And he goes, yeah, no, Floyd's not 50-0, he's 51-1. So obviously the wife came back in the rematch and took one from Floyd. Okay, never mind. No, I can't watch this anymore. It's awkward. There was a weird pause in there. It's 4 minutes of my life I'll never get back. So we're going to get to what you guys actually came here for, which is Jake Paul stealing the show and pretty much all the shine off this fight in the only way the problem man-child can, creating controversy and feeding off the emotions of another legendary fighter who feels disrespected and can't control himself. Let's take a look. So Floyd's doing his interviews. This I don't have a problem with. This is Jake just, trying to set up a fight for him after the fact. If this is all he did, he came up to Floyd, oh, you want to run it 2 on 1 night? Let's set it up. They chatted out for a second, and, they kind of go their separate ways. Okay, that's fine. You're setting up a fight for after. That's promotion. That is fine, whatever. What Jake does next, he's an asshole for it. We know this. He told his brother, hey, I'm going to go over here and steal his hat. His brother was like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do it. But because Jake doesn't respect his brother or anybody, he does it anyway, and this is what we get. Get out here. Okay, so Jake takes his hat. And then things get a little crazy eye. And we're going to show some pictures later on of Jake having that black eye. Like, he got rocked. And I think he even had the bloody mouth, too. So Jake got roughed up here. It's really hard to see, and this thing looks like it was filmed with a fucking microwave. I'm going to do my best to show you guys where Floyd cracks him. Jake was on Twitter saying one of the bodyguards landed clean on him. I only see Floyd land, and it's an uppercut from hell. So we see here, they're moving around. That's the uppercut right there. Okay, got your hat, and everybody's running after him. Now Floyd gets him in a headlock position. Boom, uppercut underneath. That's Floyd's hand, and it's landing dead on Jake's eyeball. Boom, that lands. Jake immediately goes to the eye, right? He feels that, so he goes to the eye. Now they push into kind of the wall here. He's telling him to chill. Jake's on the ground. People are on top. I can't tell what's happening to Jake down here. Floyd is looking at Logan. They both kind of look at each other here for a sec. And then Logan comes charging in like a bat out of hell. There he is. So this escalates it again. Logan's trying to go after his brother from what it looks like. Floyd's pissed. Logan's getting roughed up by security because they're not letting him in there. I mean, these two dudes right here, this guy and this guy, were not letting Logan get close. Somebody says he's going to arrest everyone. Like, no, you're not going to arrest 150 people. Who got Paul Blart to come over and try to settle things down by yelling, I'm going to arrest everyone here. Calm it down. Yeah, all right, buddy. You got enough handcuffs for all those people? So then the action breaks for a second. They get Jake away. I don't know if it's his bodyguard, but somebody is holding Jake by his shirt, like kind of holding him like this. And now Floyd comes after him again. This is, again, just out of character for Floyd Mayweather. Like, he hasn't acted like this in over a decade. For him to be this mad, and we're going to talk about it, but it brings his legitimacy, his Hall of Fame legacy down just to the dumps when you have a guy like Jake Paul that can get this kind of rise out of him. And Floyd comes after him. So here we go. So here's Floyd. He said, I never done anything to you. Jake is reciting his one line. I got your hat. That's all he has to remember here in this movie that they're making. Look at this face. Jake has that oh shit I fucked up face on. Floyd's got a right hand cocked and ready. He actually throws this right hand, but he actually hits this guy. Whoever this dude is actually eats Floyd's right hand. Watch this. Whoa, son. Here's Jake, again, just trying to troll a little bit, getting his woos out. Now listen to him as he goes in here. That voice crack. Listen, Jake stays committed to character here, and like I said, Jake's a piece of shit, but he's going to continue to do what he wants to do while he gets reactions like he's getting. Again, seamless timeline here for your boy. As Jake enters the bathroom, I'm assuming again where they sequestered him, he pulls out his phone. Now, when you guys pick up your phone, you do a selfie recording on Instagram, on Snapchat, the image will actually flip. So it looks like this is Jake's left hand and his left eye, but it's actually not. This is how the image is looking in the camera facing back at him. That's his right hand, and that's his right eye. This is a black eye from an uppercut he received earlier in the video. Floyd's one of the better boxers of all time, but that's a very quick bruise and swelling from one shot. Now, if he got hit with more, we didn't see it, but not only that, but we see here, you can kind of see a little bit of blood on these four teeth and on this side of Jake's mouth. I don't even know if those are loose teeth or if Jake just has bad teeth. We've seen Logan's teeth before he got a dental job, and they weren't very good. Obviously, Jake doesn't care. He will take a couple of shots to get this publicity, to get the Jake Paul show on the airwaves once again. So yeah, listen, Jake got what he wanted, but he didn't get it for free this time. So the real loser in all this, and this is kind of sad, but at the same time, I just don't care enough about this fight to really feel bad for Logan Paul. But he's the real loser in all this. In the end, his brother has kind of taken his shine completely here. Like we talked about it a little bit earlier, to not even show your own brother the amount of respect to say, hey, listen, I don't want you to go in and start things with Floyd right now. This is kind of my thing. Don't go take his hat. Don't do this. Don't do that. And Jake did it anyway. There's this weird dynamic in the Paul family of one-upsmanship, and Jake definitely wasn't there to support Logan. He was there to one-up him. He was there to serve his own purpose. You can tell this bothers him. Let's take a look. Logan says, what the fuck did he do, bro? Like, he's upset that Jake has caused this thing to go into pure chaos. Loki gets left out of this whole thing. His entire moment, his press conference, he flies in on a helicopter. No one gives a shit about it. Everyone's talking about Jake. and Floyd. Listen, this entire thing, right? It is a circus show. Like I said, it's a circus show from the jump. But that's the thing. No one really cares about it until today. And for the right or wrong reasons, Jake Paul inserted himself. And the question is, how far can Jake really take this stuff before it gets out of hand? Because it's getting there very quickly. He had a physical altercation with Ben Askren. He had a physical altercation somewhat with Daniel Cormier. Now Floyd punches him dead in his eye. We're escalating here. If you guys don't see the trend, and it's going to get to a point where someone's going to get hurt badly, and it's going to be Jake. And for Floyd Mayweather, I've never seen him act like that. And I think it's because he doesn't consider Logan and Jake to be real fighters. They're YouTube fighters. And for someone that isn't a real fighter to treat him like that or to disrespect him like that, I think it set him off a little bit. I think it got to his pride. It definitely got him emotional to the point where he said he was going to kill Jake. I'm going to kill that bitch. That was his words to Jake. That sentence has only been said twice by Floyd Mayweather, and it was once to Jake Paul and once to his ex-wife. So you could tell he was serious here. So yeah, this fight went from no one cares to I hope Floyd wins so he can fight Jake very quickly. And again, Logan is the left out party here. This is now a stand-in fight, and Logan is the stand-in fighter to get to the fight that everyone wants to see, which is Jake and Floyd. And for everybody that's saying, oh, Jake Paul's in Floyd's head, yeah, you're probably right, but here's the thing. What does that mean? Is Jake taking the W and winning and getting into Floyd Mayweather's head, or did he inadvertently just order a custom-made coffin for his older brother, courtesy of the return of Pretty Boy Floyd? I guess we'll find out.
$150.